What's up, all you little juice heads? Ed here. Thank you for tuning in. You're probably watching this because you want to learn all about testosterone. Well, I'm the guy to teach you. I make the hard things simple, okay? Before we get started in today's video, leave a like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm, share this shit with your friends because this is good information that we got to get out to the world. So, let's talk test. That's why we're here. We are going to talk about the injectable forms of testosterone today. What the different versions are, what the best versions are, and which ones should you be using. Now, just know besides the injectables, there also exists creams and gels. There are nasal sprays for testosterone, which, quick little fun fact, are actually less harmful on your fertility than the injectable forms of testosterone. So some guys who get prescribed TRT will opt for the nasal just because they can preserve their fertility a little bit better. Boom. There's an oral form of testosterone. There are testosterone pellets, which actually get embedded into your skin and slowly release testosterone. And then, drum roll, there is the injectable form. All of the ones that came before that I just mentioned are not as great as the injectable form. If you're going to get on testosterone, whether it's for a little cycle, whether it's for TRT, you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of the injectables, okay? They are probably the best, most effective, and safest ways. They've been around forever, so we like the injectables. But which injectable do we use? I'm going to tell you. There are a couple different forms. The first form of testosterone cypionate. It's probably the most common one out there. That's what most doctors are using for TRT is testosterone cypionate. They use it because it's convenient to use. It has a pretty long half-life, 7 to 8 days, so you can get away with a once weekly injection. The longer the half-life, the less frequent that you have to inject it. It's not as potent as the shorter esters. And what I mean by that is that for every 100 milligrams of testosterone cypionate, you have to account for the ester that it's attached to as well. So that ester is going to take up some weight in there. So out of the 100 milligrams of testosterone cypionate, only about 68 milligrams is actual testosterone. The rest of the weight, the other 32 milligrams, is going to be the ester. Now you need to attach testosterone to an ester so that your body can metabolize it at a set rate. Very similar to testosterone cypionate is testosterone enanthate. Slightly shorter half-life, about 5 days. And this one, again, similar potency to testosterone cypionate. You're going to get about 73 milligrams of pure testosterone per 100 milligrams of testosterone enanthate. So these two are your most common choices for TRT, and it's what most people start with for their first steroid cycles, either cypionate or enanthate. They are just very easy to use, and the injection frequency isn't nothing crazy. You don't need to inject yourself every day. You can get away with once weekly, even twice weekly if you want more stable blood levels. So these are a great choice if you're just starting out. There is testosterone propionate, which has a shorter half-life, 2 to 3 days. It's going to be more potent with the shorter half-life of testosterone propionate. You're going to get about 93 milligrams of pure testosterone per 100 milligrams of test propionate. So with cypionate and enanthate, you're looking about 70-ish milligrams of test per 100 milligrams. With propionate, you're getting 90. So some guys will say that they, get better results on a similar dosage of propionate versus cypionate. If you're taking the same amount of propionate and cypionate, you're actually getting more milligrams of actual testosterone with the shorter ester propionate. So that might be why they think that propionate is more effective. Kind of because it is. You get more test, more bang for your buck. You just got to inject it more frequently. That's the key. And it's not dosed as high, whereas typically for enanthate, for cypionate, you'll find it dosed at 200 milligrams per milliliter, 250 milligrams per milliliter. Testosterone propionate, you're going to see about 100 milligrams per milliliter. So not only do you have to dose it more frequently, you're going to take a larger volume injection. So that's the trade-off. A very, very long ester of testosterone, testosterone undecanoate, has a half-life of about 21 days. That's going to vary depending on, what source you look at. Anywhere from like 20 to 30 days I've seen. Anyway, it's a very, very, very long ester. Guys will typically, if they're prescribed this, which I don't like, I don't know why you would want to get prescribed testosterone undecanoate, but they'll go in every few months for an injection, which is not optimal. You get a huge, huge dosage of it. It goes way up in your system over a long time and goes way down. I like to have, my once weekly with either enanthate or cypionate. Keep it pretty stable the whole time. You're not getting these big hormonal fluctuations. So undecanoate, that one's a lot less common. One that you will see more nowadays is testosterone sustanon, which is actually a blend of 4 different esters. It's going to be testosterone propionate, which we talked about, short half-life, about 2 to 3 days. Testosterone phenylpropionate, which is a slightly longer half-life, about 4 days-ish. Testosterone isocaproate, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It's not a very common ester of testosterone, but it has a half-life of about 9 days. And then finally, testosterone decanoate, which has a half-life of about 14 to 15 days. So testosterone sustanon is going to be a blend of those 4 different esters, all combined into one. Typically, you'll see sustanon dosed at like 250 milligrams per milliliter, just for reference. Then finally, you might see testosterone suspension flying around. That one is not great if you're going to be on TRT, if you're going to be blasting steroids. The only time I think you really would ever use testosterone suspension is like before an untested powerlifting meet, maybe something like that. It has a very short half-life of only a few hours, so it's in your system very quick and it's out of your system very quick. You get hit with, boom, a very forceful punch of testosterone, and then it's eliminated from your system. But because it's testosterone suspension, there's not an ester attached to it, so it is 100% testosterone. You get 100 milligrams of pure testosterone per 100 milligrams of testosterone suspension. So that's pretty neat, but yeah, again, I don't really ever see a time or place when you would use this. It's just not ideal. So yeah, I've tried a few of these different versions. I've tried cypionate, enanthate, and sustanon. What I find is that, at least with cypionate and enanthate, I kind of noticed a little bit more water retention, whereas sustanon, I think I noticed a little less water retention. Typically with shorter esters, you're going to get less water retention. So the longer ester you get, the higher water retention, more bloated you might look, which is interesting because sustanon, it's a blend of short and long esters, so it could really go either way. Everybody's body's going to respond differently to it. Actually, right now I'm on cypionate, and I don't think I'm holding that much water retention. I mean, I seem pretty full. I'm bulking as well, so my weight is up. I'm not as cut, as I could be, but I still feel like I'm pretty shredded, pretty diced. No pump right now at all. And this is on a long ester testosterone. So there's going to be a lot of things that affect how much water you're going to hold. Your diet, how many calories you're taking in, how many calories are going out, what kind of exercise you're doing, how clean you're eating, your injection frequency. But the moral of the story is longer esters require less frequent injection, but they lead to more water retention. So if it were me for a first cycle, I like enanthate or cypionate. Same with TRT. I mean, those are great places to start. If you want to step it up, you've maybe tried enanthate before, you've tried cypionate before, you could give sustanon a try. It's a little trickier, again, with the blend of short and long esters, but I mean, I found it to be pretty cool. I liked it. I would try it again in the future. And then if you want to advance it from there, after you got a couple cycles under your belt, then I think you're ready to try out propionate, which, packs a pretty good punch. You just got to inject it more frequently. So, there's a lot of information for you guys right there. That's a lot to unpack. but hopefully now you have a better understanding of the different forms of testosterone. If you got any questions, drop them below. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. Thank you for watching. For now, Ed out.